didn't really come out of the wood. I mean, he didn't really do. I'm not currently in New York, but I don't know how his messaging was out there. But the funny thing is that he's now running as an independent, and he actually Governor Cuomo called and congratulated Zohan, on the night in which he was nominated, and he conceded, and complimented him. But now Cuomo's now running as an independent.
No, he's
so
not.
It's going to be
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
He officially dropped out of the race. He was embarrassed.
When was that? Was that because yesterday he was going to run? Are you sure?
I'm positive. I think he dropped out yesterday. But here's the thing. And like I said, Alfonso, listen to what this young lady just said. It's no smoke with us. She's entitled to her opinion, but they looked at the messenger and not the message. They looked past the message. Yeah, he has some great talking points. He also has some shitty ones.
And he spent $65 million on sex changes for minors. So
absolutely.
He wants to increase the basic income wage for $30 an hour. $30.
I have a question for the room, given what everyone has just said about the guy, right? A lot of people look at Mamdani's policies and say these are brain-dead policies, social net doesn't work, free grocery stores, they tried in the Soviet Union, they had red lines, et cetera, right? But how come people, and there's a lot of flash, but no substance. One could say all those same things about Trump, but Trump is given out by, well, at least he's trying something new. So here's my question. Why are we willing to give Trump the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, at least he's trying something new? We're not willing to give this man the same grace.
Well, I can't speak for everybody else. I can speak for myself. One of his policies are, you ready? He wants the state to take over all grocery stores. He wants a state-run grocery store system.
No.
I thought he just wants to create state-run grocery
That is accurate.
He doesn't want. He wants to subsidize them in different ways because they're already being subsidized. No, that's a fact, JB. Honestly.
Okay, but don't look in the chat. Hold on. Okay, I know you hear my voice. I know you get very excited. Okay. Cuomo's not in the race. Pin the link in the chat. He dropped out yesterday. I saw the news conference. My eyes and ears work. So just because you say it's true doesn't mean, hold on, boo, make it true. See, you're welcome on the stage, but you gotta dial it down. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, bro. Cut down please cut down, go to decaf. Okay.
That'd be a bad idea, JB.
Well, I'm not sure that, from what I understand, from what I've read, the policy is he wants to create state-run grocery stores that people can go to if they want to, alongside the private bodegas and big chains and all that. So I'm not sure the policy is to municipalize/nationalize the grocery stores as much as it is to create essentially like the post office runs alongside FedEx, just a government-run alternative that people can go to if they want.
Which is a terrible idea because the government does really bad at everything. Education, healthcare.
Right, but I agree with that to some extent. But my question wasn't whether the policy was sensible. The question was, Trump has a whole bunch of brain dead on arrival, stupid policies, but we say, hey, at least he's trying, right? Why don't we say from Mamdani, hey, at least he's trying?
I told you,
I know, Jay, you already answered.
Hold on, Dr. West. Listen, I'm not a super Jew. I have tattoos and I eat bacon, but I do support Israel. And when this guy comes out saying the things he says, now, Kuba, I'm being honest. When he comes out and says he doesn't believe in Israel's right to exist, right? I'm done. That's a hard no for me. But let me say good morning to Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve, good morning.
JB, what a pleasure it is to be in another one of your amazing rooms. And by the way, since you are moving to Texas eventually, you're going to be a hell of a lot closer to Casa de Appel, which means I'm going to have to do a lot more heavy lifting to roll out that red carpet closer to Texas.
I'll tell you what, man, I've never been to Cali. I would love to come to California one time. But I saw an article. I'm going to look for the article. I'm going to pin it on top about these squatters, they call them dangerous squatters that are taking over Los Angeles, and they're very violent people, according to the article. So.
Yeah. That's true. Fortunately, why are you interrupting me and JB when we're talking? I don't understand. Thank you. All I can say is, JB, there are no squatters at Casa de.
That's good.
Sorry, I was getting an article. I just found an article. I'm going to pin it to the top.
That's okay. I said there are no squatters at Casa de Bill.
Okay. Well, I know you're fully loaded, and I've heard good things about you from people who've met you in real life.
Fully loaded, plus the pit bull, baby. So the red carpet is open, and of course the red carpet means a place to stay for at least a week, plus all food and drink is covered, unless of course you want to go out to eat. That's a different story.
Well, if you're a good cook, still save the money. But let me say good morning to Joe B. Joe B, that's a nice PTR you have. Joe B.
Yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Do you want to jump into the conversation? Because you may get 15 seconds before she jumps off her mic.
No, I'll just listen for now.
Okay. See, give me some pushback.
No pushback. Just listening. Awesome.
See, I know we not seem that way, but actually, I'm fond of you. I think I love you. Your energy levels are always the same. I respect that. But yeah, so Steve, I put this article on top. Los Angeles residents on edge is absolutely terrifying. Violent squatters terrorize ritzy neighborhoods. Is it just the ritzy neighborhoods?
JB, I haven't heard this. There's clearly a difference between homeless and squatters. Squatters are people that, transients, shall we say, for lack of better words, that will not only inhabit the vacant buildings, but also parts of your property where people are not staying. I'll have to take a look at this right now because I haven't heard this. I'll take a look at it and see if it's anything new.
I mean, squatters can be actually classified as like ex-husbands too. Like if they're not moving out and the title's in someone else's name. So squatters happen all across the United States of America.
Wait. See, what if it's an ex-wife?
I was about to ask that question.
If the title's in the husband's name and she's not moving out, it's a squatter. So I'm just saying, like, like the article. I mean, look, I live in California, so I'm not really quite sure what the squatters. There's squatters all across the nation. That's all I have to say.
Well, all I gotta say is nobody wants to be in the Bay Area. Just my opinion. Good morning, Sin.
Don't come. No need to come.
I wasn't going to. Sin, how you doing?
Good.
You want to chime in?
I don't know. I don't live in LA, but it looks like LA got a lot going on. They have, and thank you for the shout out earlier. I don't know. They're spending the Trump sent the Marines out there $180 million. It seems like all the NYPD, National Guard, Marines, they're all there worried about migrants selling tamales on the street, and meanwhile all this other crime is going on. So I don't know. I think maybe they need to redirect these people to get the squatters out, or maybe they need to update their laws about squatters, because it's not really landlord-tenant laws. I think they updated the squatter law here in New York because someone got killed by a squatter, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, bigger cities tend to have to be more tenant-friendly than more rural areas or other areas. So it's certainly a problem. But I would say, look, LA got a lot going on. I don't think, I don't know how big this issue is. I think they have bigger problems than a few people squatting.
Well, Sin, I first of all, I didn't know you were based in New York, so New York, Brooklyn loves. But here in our city, we definitely have a homelessness problem, right? Just get on the train. And listen, at one point in my life, I was homeless. So I get it, but I don't think any of these homeless issues that we have in our cities, New York, LA, San Francisco, wherever it may be, unless we come together and start solving some mental health issues, there's always going to be homelessness.
Yeah, for sure. I actually worked in the shelters here in New York City, and I almost became a Republican because, things got so bad. But, I definitely understand what you're saying. There's definitely mental health issues. There's definitely, this is a right to shelter state, just like Massachusetts, other areas are like that.
What does that mean, right to shelter?
So you do get a bed. So if you go to the Bronx Path, I think it's called, you do get a bed. You check in, you can get a bed in New York City. Like, no one has to technically be sleeping on the street in New York City. But people do so because of mental health issues. They're on drugs, they're transitioning, the shelter system doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but you are technically owed a bed in New York City. They have to give you a bed. They have to shelter you, whether you're a migrant, whether you're a citizen, doesn't matter. They have to give you a bed. So why people are in the street, this is due to lack of funding for mental health services, which were gutted, year after year. These type of services are gutted. So that's what we need. We need services for veterans as well, right? We don't. That's the worst thing is seeing someone who served this country on the street, and that happens a lot in New York City, unfortunately.
Everybody, hold on. Stin, I have to tell you something. This is no cap. If you were sitting next to me right now, I'd give you a big hug. Because I say it all the time. The way we treat our vets in this country is an embarrassment and a shame. Like, we should be empowering these people, uplifting them, and the way we treat them is disgusting. My son-in-law did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and I gotta tell you, the medical help that he receives, is atrocious. So I agree with what you're saying. Doctor, again, now you want to say?
Yeah, to you and Sin, why do we think that is, though? Why are these programs being gutted? Our elected officials, they know that we have men and women who serve, who need this help. They know that we have a mental health crisis. Why, of all of the initiatives and programs that could be defunded, is this typically at the top of the list in many states? They cut funding for mental health initiatives. They cut funding for veterans. Why? Sin, in your opinion, and JB, if you want to chime in on that. I'm just curious to know why you guys.
Well, she worked in the system, so she could probably speak on it better than me, because I gotta be honest with you, Sin, you can give me a bag of cash, I'm not working in no shelter.
Yeah, it was certainly rough. I mean, these are policies that cut social services and these institutions. So these are, I hate to be, the political person here. This is a result of, Reagan, right? He cut a lot of mental health care on W. Bush as well. I mean, I could look up specific policies, but I have a meeting in a minute. And I think that, if we're talking about education, this is maybe a little unrelated, but related. No Child Left Behind. I think when we gut education, I think that certainly plays a huge role into, people being able to get a proper education, but being able to support themselves, and with the homeless crisis. So I think, when I think about, people cutting mental health services and stuff like that, this is a real thing. And now what's going on, Medicaid will be gutted, right, under this big, beautiful bill, if it goes through. So this is going to be bleak, and certain states like New York, California, right, maybe they will be able to step in where the federal government will not anymore. But other states like Wyoming, Kansas, and stuff like that, Kentucky. So it just depends. They might not be able to step in. So we're kind of like at a wait and see phase. But I think maybe that's more that you wanted. But I have like specifics on the federal cuts to mental health.
Jason, I have a question for you regarding shelter. Like, you mentioned that New York has right to get shelter. Are you saying that other states don't offer? You don't have a right to get a bed if you're homeless?
So I know, like, usually like the state, like the Northeast states, I think you do. I don't know which states are what. I know New York for sure, and I know you go to the Bronx, you check in, but again, if you are a single person, you go to the single men's or the single women's, or if you have a family, you get like family shelter. And it may be a hotel if the shelters are at capacity. You know, these are not like luxury hotels or anything. These are the very bottom tier for the most part.
Of course.
Or mid-tier, right?
But you're saying like other states don't even offer a bed. Like that's what
and you have to check in and out. Yeah, if the shelter, I mean, we spoke to kids, you know, in the other room in Job Corps, right? Job Corps was, they have a temporary injunction. I think that's gonna last a year until they figure Job Corps out. But those kids, many of which are foster kids or have unstable home conditions, they were told on a Thursday they needed to find shelter by Tuesday. And we spoke to a lot of the kids in our room, and a lot of the kids didn't have placement yet. They were scrambling to find churches and find other resources because the shelters were at capacity in that particular city. So they were trying to figure things out, and they didn't have much time. But thankfully, you know, say what you will about it, and I have criticism of Job Corps, but, you know, these are 50,000 children that are vulnerable, mostly Black, or 50% Black, 18% Latino. These are people that are, you know, low socioeconomic status, that were just, you know, receiving job training. Say what you will about the program, but, you know, I don't think that's a way to get rid of something by giving people less than a week notice to find housing. So, but yeah, so a lot of those kids, you know, those shelters were over capacity and they weren't accepting, you know, anyone else. So yeah, there's plenty of shelters around the country that just don't have any more capacity, and you're kind of out of luck at that point.
I mean, I agree with everything you said, but I think we have to accept that that's kind of the point with these policies, right? I think trying to appeal to the humanity of Trump and his party is wasted effort. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly why. They want to see increase in homelessness. They want to see people on the street, and you know, because that's how they pay for the tax. That's how they pay for tax cuts for the rich, right? You know, the pie is only so big, and you know, either the poor people are going to get it, or the productive people, wink wink, the capitalist class is going to get it, and they decided that they want the capitalist class to get it. So
wow, bro, that is so. The simplest thing.
Hey, it's reality. So we just have to, because that's what's happening. That's the impact of the bill. They know what this is going to do, and so yeah, we just have to accept that and accept the ramifications, implications of that.
And just look at what RFK is doing. I mean, the vaccines. If they decide that you know, children shouldn't get measles and chickenpox vaccines, you know, the insurance companies are going to wait towards. They're not going to actually provide insurance for children to get these vaccines.
My God, dude, I gotta leave this room apparently. Like, we got a bunch of leftist watchers in here.
That's the impact, right?
No, actually, this is serious. My brother died of chickenpox, actually. So
yeah, I know, and RFK Jr. is not saying he wants to take away.
Because you can die.
He's not saying he wants to take away.
One mic, please. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, so can I say, because a lot of people have been talking, I never get a chance to talk apparently. But you know, a lot of people have been saying some misinformation like he's going to take away vaccines. That's not what's happening. He's giving his parents a choice. He's questioning some of our pharmaceutical companies, and that's okay. If you're okay with just blindly taking this shit and blindly letting the pharmaceuticals make all these choices, then keep on with the status quo, because that's what it was before. You can watch a little bit of cable, and you know, every commercial with some pill they're trying to sell you, try to get you on, and then you know they're going to talk about the side effects really quickly. We are so bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm so glad we have someone like RFK Jr. who's going in there and questioning that. If you guys think that he's going to take away, sorry, my dog's all wearing my head apart, but take away vaccines, then you're being hyperbolic and unrealistic. That's not what's happening.
My
And then
brother
that guy there.
chicken
Hold
pox.
on.
There was no vaccine at the time. So there's truth to this.
When was
That's
this?
a fact.
When was
He
this?
wouldn't have died
When
if
was
there was
this?
vaccine.
When was this? When was this? She's just saying something, Kubu. She's just saying things. I think that's bullshit lies.
Has RFK criticized the chickenpox vaccine?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell? So her saying her brother didn't get to take the chickenpox
No,
vaccine.
there
What did he
wasn't
live
a
in the 50s?
vaccine for at the time.
I think RFK
Where do you
believes
live?
in the chickenpox.
Dude, I mean, I'm just,
Yeah.
vaccine as it's you know, there wasn't a
Ma'am, can you give us more information? Are you going to blame that on RFK Jr.?
very personal, but it's really a fact.
Kubu, I'm not talking to you, brother. I'm trying to talk to you.
Wait a second. Doctor, let's see, talk for a minute. See, the mic is yours, and then we'll go back to doctor, and then we'll say hello to Zach.
So I will just say honestly, like my brother did, pass away from chickenpox when we were children, and it still upsets me because, it's very disturbing. It's really upsetting. There was no vaccine at the time, and he
So
was
what does that have to do with RFK?
So it's not. I don't need to be told it's a lie because it's not okay. And so now it wouldn't happen these days. It would not have happened. It was just a couple years before the vaccine. So that it is very distinct when you actually see your best friend, your brother, next to you with I had chickenpox. He had chickenpox. My other older brother and sister had chickenpox 2 weeks before us, and there was no vaccine, and we were young, but he passed away, and he was my best friend, and it's not a joke. So when I hear this shit,
I hear you, ma'am.
No, but you
at least
I'm
you
not
keep
lying.
repeating yourself. You're repeating yourself and first one.
You're being
Hold on a second. Hold on.
And
First off, bro, listen.
And cold.
I get hold on, see, I got you. Yo, Doc, let me tell you something. I get it. You're MAGA. Daddy Donald does no wrong. RFK is the next Messiah.
How the fuck did this RFK have to do with her brother?
Let me finish, you fucking dingling. One thing I'm not going to allow is you to disrespect her when she's talking about somebody she lost that she loved. It's not going to happen. Now, whatever your opinion on this vaccine is, that's fine. But let's show this young lady a little grace and space that you can hear her getting emotional. And she's getting emotional because of a loss. You're getting emotional because of a policy. Make that make sense. Yeah, see.
I don't really want to talk much more about it, but and just being really wholeheartedly, it concerns. It's really, he would be alive today, so it's a fact. So that's why when I hear this stuff, yes, it was awful. I mean, like, I had to go back to school on Good Friday, like, to return to school with my best friend, like, and have the flag, like, all, hanging ass after my brother, because of chickenpox. There was no vaccine. So, I mean, the thing is, like, you have to really, like, seriously look at the reality of what he's doing, and people don't have the time to read, some people, and if insurance is not going to cover it as well, this could be really problematic, and I wouldn't want any family to go through what I, went through, and for a sister or brother to lose their sister and brother when they're young. I just would.
Can I get a chance here to talk, please?
You haven't stopped talking. Can I talk for a second? Thank you. See, first off, sincerely, I'm sorry for your loss. I just want to point something out. Alfonso, when you asked that question earlier, and I said people are on emotions, they don't read the policies, they don't understand. Unless it impacts people directly, and I'm going to be frank, they don't give a fuck. And that's just how I feel. But yeah, Dr. Wise, you got a minute, and be polite.
Wow, thank you for giving me only a minute after she can just go on forever and repeat herself.
Okay, you can stay down there and jerk off all I can. But we're not going to disrespect each other.
Let me just ask this. So I think we're at a point that people, I know this sounds harsh, right? But people need to die. Kids need to die of the measles, right? And that needs to spread. And unfortunately, see, people need to go through what you went through so that we can get back to where we were in herd immunity. So the thing is, if we have enough herd immunity, not everyone needs to take the vaccine. The issue now is that we're losing herd immunity because not enough people want to take it. And so now we have kids dying. And it's rare, right? But, measles and stuff, it's the fastest spreading virus, right? It spreads like crazy. So I think that if people don't want to take the vaccine, that should be their right. However, yeah, I think people, if they want to let their kids die, then that's a decision that they should make, right? Remember, RFK said, he vaccinated his kids. So if you want to sit up there and not vaccine your kid for RFK, then that is your right to do it. And we just need to, we shouldn't intervene because that causes, mistrust of this health system. Like, this is good for you, but we shouldn't force everyone, but know that everyone's going to have to struggle because we're losing herd immunity, and hopefully we get that back as people die. I mean, this is just science, and this is math.
Well,
right?
Steve,
a certain amount of people get it, a certain amount of people.
Well, let me just say something real quick. We got this brilliant statesman, Dr. Wise. Where is it? Oh my, OMG, pussy MF. Go kill yourself, JB. Wow. A lot of things have been said. Nobody's ever told me.
I'd like to jump in.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, you can after JB and myself, yes.
I'd fucking crush JB's face. I'd wring your neck. I hope you do, JB. Wow. Yeah, I really want you on my stage. Come enlighten us with your wisdom, please. You psychotic person. Go ahead, Stephen, then we'll go to Zach.
Thank you. Firstly, I'm not aware of herd immunity for the measles. That's number one. Number two, I'm an elder statesman in the room. I'm 65. And me and my entire family back in the 60s were vaccinated with the 3 M's. What is it? Mumps, measles, and rubella. So I feel very sorry for C, for whatever the reason was. I'm sure it's 100% true that her brother did not have access to the shot. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but I know that me and my entire family had access to it back in the 60s, so I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Back to you, Jay.
Thank you. Let's go to Zach before he has a seizure. He likes to talk. Go ahead, Zach. Zach, are you there? Okay. Good morning, Keegan.
Good morning. I was just wanting to kind of comment, as someone who has a toddler, having a baby on the way, the vaccines that they do give to children is pretty mind-boggling. Even day of birth, right? They're giving out hepatitis B. This isn't needing of herd immunity, right? Hepatitis B, there's only a few things that the way you can get it, which is shared needles, exposure to sexual activity. This is things that children, especially newborns, just are never going to actually be exposed to, other than, I guess, in like a drug or sexual abuse case. So, those things, this isn't herd immunity. And I think that when people are like, hey, I wish that we had vaccine choice, isn't like me saying, oh, I'm going to not give my kids, the rotavirus or whatever, or even polio vaccine. And I think it's mostly...
Keegan, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, and I'm trying to have a dialogue here with you.
Yeah.
So when your child, I don't know how, I think you have a daughter, when she gets old enough to go to when she gets old enough to go to school, don't they mandate where she has to have vaccines before she can attend school?
Yeah, most public schools are that way. That's why you see a lot of children that we know, like our daughter, who is on a delayed vaccine schedule. They just tend not to go to school. They tend to be homeschooled, or they go to some form of a monastery, or they go to a co-op or something like that.
Yeah, Candace Owens said, I'm sorry, JB, really quick, I'll say this. Candace Owens, despite how we might feel about her, I happen to like Candace Owens on some of her points. She did a documentary called A Shot in the Dark, because she had an eye-opening experience with vaccines when she gave birth to her first child. I think she has 3 or 4 babies now. and all the vaccines, to Keegan's point, some of them, she's like, why does a baby need a Hep vaccination? You know, some of these vaccines seem to be related to sexually transmitted diseases. So I also think there's a book called A Shot in the Dark. I don't know if her documentary is based on that book or pulls from that book, but CandaceOwens.com, if anybody's a fan of her, or if you're just interested to see her break down and unpack these vaccines that are mandated for these infants, for these babies, which I think is ridiculous. I recommend that viewing, A Shot in the Dark, CandaceOwens.com. Thanks.
And just to piggyback on that very quickly, JB, my understanding is that all public schools, K through 12, require vaccines. I'm not aware of a single school district that does not require vaccine.
But what if it's a private school? Hold on, Poo-Poo.
And again, that's why I stress public school. Private school, I don't know.
Got you. Let me go to Zach. He has been patiently waiting. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, JB. I wanted to briefly do what you already know that I'm going to do, but I'm not going to air our private dirty laundry in a public room. But I am going to say I did send you a private message apologizing for my insults against you the other day. And I would like to, without going into detail, I would like to apologize to your face with my voice, even though I can't see your face. But I am sorry for our conflict, and I do want to sincerely say, JB, I appreciate you, 98% of the time. I think I connect with you very well. I think you're a smart guy, despite what a lot of people have a lot of hate for you, but I like joining your conversations. And so I wanted to say that.
Well, Zach, let me say this real quick. The only reason you're on stage is because I vouch for you.
Well, yeah, because I went in the back channel. I told her I was upset about my conflict with you and I wanted to make it right. And then she said, you should message him, and I sent you a message. I just wanted to tell you, in case you didn't see the message, I did send you a message.
I saw the message. This is how you make it right. You ready?
I'm ready.
I don't want to derail the conversation. You go open a room, and the title has to be, JB is not a grifter.
Okay.
Grifting the title. And JB's the best model.
I will make that room later today. I can't really talk today because I have to go to work in about half an hour. But
Best model.
Best moderator ever. I promise you, I will make that room at some point.
Hold on. Okay, you're breaking up. But Keegan, I'm allowed to have my ego too.
I'm back. I'm done going in the Matrix. I was driving through the Matrix, but now I'm out.
All right, Mike is yours. Go ahead.
So yeah, on the topic, I wanted to say a few things briefly. The first thing I wanted to say is that I agree with you, and is Dr. Wise still here? He's gone. It's kind of sad that he left. Well, I don't have to shoot him directly.
Zach, he'll be back. Trust me, Zach.
Well, I wanted to say to C that I thank you for sharing your story about your brother, and I'm really sorry to hear that, and it sounds like it was a very, very awful experience. And I think you are bravely sharing a story with a bunch of strangers, and I thought, even though I generally agree with Dr. Wise on this topic, I would say to him directly, and I would say to you directly, I think that it was inappropriate the way that he was not, as JB said, you were being emotional, you were being vulnerable, and he wasn't really acknowledging that. He could have acknowledged your vulnerability and then responded later to the point after giving you a little bit of humanity. After giving you the humanity, which you very much deserve, I would like to respond to the point, which is I just looked up, even though I'm driving on the highway and I know I shouldn't do that, but I did look up, is RFK opposed to the chickenpox vaccine? I don't think that he explicitly is. All that I was able to find is that he has tentatively suggested not mandating the chickenpox vaccine for people under 47 months of age, which I don't know how many years that is because I'm not good at math, but presumably...
You said 47 months?
That's what I read online, that
That's
RFK...
4 years.
So, but I had the chickenpox when I was like 7. And so if you get the chickenpox vaccine when you're 4 years old, what age was your brother, C? Can I even ask that? I don't want to probe into your private life. But...
He was 9, I was 7.
So what do you think if kids get the chickenpox vaccine when they're 4? Is that good enough or no?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I just think it needs to be really seriously looked at, and I just appreciate doctors looking at it. That's really the bottom line. That's all. I mean that sincerely. Like, that's where I stand.
Well, let me say something to you real quick, see, and I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you. Oh, we have another moron coming up. See, but here's an advice from your big brother JB. I'd be very careful what you share with on this app because people will weaponize it. I appreciate you being vulnerable. I heard you get emotional about it, as you should. But yeah, no, I get it. She doesn't want to talk about it anymore, guys, so let's move on from that. But just be careful what you share because people weaponize anything that you might share. So I just want to give you that piece of advice. But let me welcome Cool C. He knows everything about everything. He's never wrong, and he loves Donald Trump. Go ahead, Cool C.
Hey, I agree sort of on the chickenpox virus to a later age. Just like they're talking about the measles, mumps, and rubella, and like within the first 24, 48 hours of birth, because they have had significant increases in some of the deaths recently with those vaccines. And that's what they're attributing to SIDS sometimes because of that infection, that cocktail, which you got to get within the first week of your life. So if they hold off and give your body a chance to build up immune before you start that stuff, maybe you eat some dirt as a kid at 4 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old from the ground, may help you build up against the chickenpox or any other virus. I don't think he wants to make. I think he wants to make sure they're not affecting us the way they do so quickly, and I think that's kind of good. I think they're important. I don't think he wants to get rid of them all. He just wants to give your body a time to adjust, I think.
Thank you, Cool C. So Keegan, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second, guys. Did I predict it that this moron, Dr. Wise, would be back? I called it. Took him less than 3 minutes. Keegan, then Kubu. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, I don't know, if people don't know, what the CDC's, vaccine schedule is for a child before 12 months, it is very, very shocking. And I think that's why, and I'm with Cool C here, that SIDS has had an increase in the last 25 years, and only continues to increase as we increase these vaccine schedules. And again, they have no actual, they've done all these studies on SIDS. They really don't know why this is happening. But I mean, you got to think, right? In the first 2 months, they're given usually at least 3 shots. This is from hepatitis B, the first dose, then your second dose, then you're getting DTaP, then you're getting polio, then you're getting HIV, then you're going to get the rotavirus, and then all of those are second dose vaccines as well. So you're getting those again after 2 months into 4 months, and then again I think it's at 6 to 8 months, and then you do it one more time at 12 months, and then at 12 months they say they're ready for the flu vaccine. So by the time they're just a year old, they've had more than 20-something shots. It's all recommended by the CDC, and if your parent doesn't read these things, you're going to be giving your kids over 20 different types of vaccines before they even reach 10 pounds, usually 10 to 15 pounds. So that's really,
did you get, when you were growing up, did you get the vaccines? Did your parents take chickenpox, measles, all this other stuff, or?
They did.
And you're okay, right?
I don't want to go into my medical history, but I do believe that I had effects from it, yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. Hold on a second. Zach, it's okay. I told you this moron would be back. He's down in the VIP section.
Good. Can I speak with him really briefly?
I invited him up, but he doesn't want to come. But before you speak to him briefly, Kubu's been patiently waiting. I'll come right back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta get to it, so I'll be brief out of respect for everyone. I'm ready to get back to whatever else. But I think that the debate about vaccines, it's an interesting debate, but it's one that's been settled by discipline called public health. There are a lot of things that we do as a society. We agree to do them, even though we may not want to do them, just because it's what leads to more lives being saved and just a healthy quality of life for everyone. When indoor plumbing and toilets were a new thing in 19th century England, there were people who had misgivings and hesitations about that. But, that, indoor plumbing and toilets went out over pooping in a bucket and casting out your window. Seat belts, speaking of being thrown out of windows, seat belts, and mandated seat belts, one over being, over flying out of your windshield window, if you're in a car crash, and now the early vaccines, polio vaccines were also controversial when they first came out, right? The idea of radio waves being transmitted or received through vaccines is not a new idea. Early vaccines were accused of similar things. That's where the whole tinfoil hat thing came from. So, I get the whole idea of, freedom versus life or whatever. If you're willing to give up one for the other, that sounds good on paper. But in terms of practical societal measures, we have public health for a reason. So, yeah.
Let me push back just a smidge, and then I'm going to go to Zach. Here's my thought, right? I think certain vaccines, we need them, right? I believe in that. But if I would have known then what I know now, I would have never got the COVID vaccine. Never.
Same.
Right? I was forced into it. I didn't have a choice. And I regret getting the COVID vaccine and the boosters that I got after it.
Did you get sick? I got sick off the booster.
I got cool seat, mute up, please. I got sick, and I tell you what, I'm not the beacon of health, right? I drink too much coffee, I don't work out enough, but there's things that are going on with me that I definitely think correlate with the vaccine. So I think that was forced on people. People lost their jobs because of it. Because, the truth is this, society runs on fear, right? As long as they can fearmonger and put people in positions, and I think that's what they did with the COVID vaccine. I understand the world was scared, we were all locked up, nobody's ever lived through that before, but let me tell you something, man. I do regret it, but cool, see, hold on, because Zach wants to address Dr. Wise, who told me to kill myself. Zach?
Yeah, so Dr. Wise, if I may, I know you want to talk, Dr. Wise, but and I think you should be able to. But I just was going to validate
never get to fucking talk, bro. Bullshit.
Well, but I was going to
I get kicked every day by JB, so that's why I'm so fucking mad at him, man. It's not right.
But that's why I'm the right guy to talk to you in this moment, and the only person who knows what I'm about to say really is JB. Because, 4 days ago, I was very frustrated with JB because I don't even really remember the specifics. Maybe JB does, we don't have to get into it. But it was basically to the effect of, I said something, I was talking off mic, I was talking out of turn, and it's just Clubhouse culture. It's like the way that it works on Clubhouse is whoever's in the top left, if they want to talk, everybody else has to mute up. They get to run their room however they want. It's kind of like I'm going to take my ball and go home, or it's my house, my rules kind of thing, but it also is the way it goes. And what I wanted to say to you specifically is just like my little brief analysis of what just happened, which is I think the woman C was sharing with a lot of emotionality about something very close to her heart. And I think that the only mistake that you made was failing to respond with empathy and sensitivity and humanity to her vulnerable story, because I agree with the points that you were making, and I'm on your side of the argument because my politics because we've spoken in the past. And I said this, got off mic to say, oh man, I was watching this kind of human conflict car crash happening in real time, thinking, fuck, I agree with Sorry, my alarm went off. I'm going to land here, but I'm saying I agree with Dr. Wise. I'm scared of pissing off JB. I'm noticing that C needs empathy and people aren't really giving it to her. And I wanted to just offer that reflection to you and say, when you get booted to the audience, the goal is, although it's easier said than done, but the goal for people like you and me is to remain calm and don't say something that you're going to have to eat crow for later, because the other day I called JB a blankety blank, 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 blank. I'm not even going to repeat it, but now I have to fucking eat crow and apologize. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Well, Zach, you never wished that. You didn't tell me to kill myself. But I'm going to give this sensitive gentleman 2 minutes to respond, and 2 minutes won't be enough because I'll go for 10. Okay, Dr. Wise.
Thank you. With what's her name? C. Yes, I should have said first. Sorry for your brother, of course. But the relevance of the conversation is you basically implicating RFK Jr. that he somehow had your.
So I moved him down because this young lady's already said she don't want to continue talking about her brother.
Well, he was going into
hold on, Zach, hold on. But you gotta respect her wishes, right? Let her be.
Right, and don't call her whatever her name is.
Yeah, just let her be. Let's move on. So, Steve, I can't bring him up anymore. If you want to bring him up, be my guest.
JB, if you want me to, I'll invite him up. It's your decision.
As long as he respects the space and respects this young lady, I'm cool with that. Listen, I'm not putting on my cape for C. She's a big girl. I've seen her bang with some of the biggest influences on this app. But there's certain points, even in these conversations, can we just show you a smidge of humanity? Listen, Keegan and I don't agree on probably 99% of things. He said shit about me, open rooms about me. But you know, you can move past it. I move past it. I'm not mad at Keegan. I actually respect Keegan because he stands on the square. But Keegan's never said to me, I hope you go kill yourself. How mentally disturbed do you have to be to say that to somebody? Because you don't get to speak. Here's an idea, Zach. People want to speak. You're more than welcome to open your own rooms. Cool, chill, bro. Because if I don't go to Dr. Wise, he's just a little crazier than you. Get Dr. Wise.
So you guys understand why I get so upset with JB and moves me every time, right? I mean, this is, a human can't deal with this so much. Like, a human cannot deal with just being constantly thrown out, disrespected, and then just, I can't fucking keep calm. I can't, folks. You have to understand where I'm coming from a little bit here. He's had a hard-on for me the day I got on this fucking app for 9 months. Okay, we have been going back and forth, and he will not respect me, bro. I don't give a fuck what you say. He's even saying 100%. He's had a hard-on, and I have tried to be respectful of this girl, and this motherfucker, we'll see. Stop, bro. So I heard what you said. I'm trying to apologize and show respect to C, and JB is throwing me out while I'm trying to do it. While you guys are saying, why is he getting so upset? This is why. Because when JB enjoys this shit. JB enjoys to torment me and disrespect me.
But yeah, you come back. But yeah, you come back to the abuse.
I came in here. I try to have a respectful conversation. You do nothing but disrespect me, JB. Give me a chance. Give me a fucking chance.
You know what the problem is?
If not, meet me someplace and let's fight it out. If not, let's fight it out. Meet me someplace, let's fight it out. Enough disrespecting me.
Okay.
Enough, bro.
I'm not coming to Montana to fight you, you moron.
Then I will come to New York to fight you, JB. I don't care.
I'll give you my
whatever I gotta do. But if you want that, JB, then fuck.
Okay, I'm done with him. I mean, Keegan, have I ever asked you for your address to come to your house to beat you up, Keegan? I mean, how stupid is this guy?
We should get a clubhouse boxing event and do
a charity event. How about a charity event,
yes.
Keegan? I'm with that, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Cool, Steve. Let Cool Steve go because he's gonna have a
JD, I just wanted to say very quickly that if you ever come to Casa de Appel, I want to thumb wrestle you.
I would probably lose. Cool Steve, go ahead, man.
You were saying something about the COVID. You regret getting it. There is a treatment out there right now. It's called EBU, EBU, and there's doctors practicing it. I think out in Arizona and California or somewhere. Which is actually removing plaque from your
Cool C. Listen, I'm gonna let you talk. Okay, thank you. Put the link in the chat, but I gotta be honest with you. Anything you ever recommend, I'm staying far away from, okay?
I've never done it. I did not get the COVID vaccine. So unlike you, I did not get it. But I did get COVID, and it was very mild twice. But I just was letting you know, there is something out there that actually is cleaning the plaque, cleaning the spike proteins in your vessel. It's called EBU. It's like a dialysis machine where they take it out, they ozonate it, and they actually give you back and it's
Okay,
like
thank you. Hey,
but
we'll
it's
see.
nothing.
Okay, I appreciate it. But
Okay.
I just want to thank you for always making my room dumber. I appreciate that.
It might make it smarter though, because someone might want to get the spike protein out of their blood from that vaccine for COVID because it's important. That's what they mainly go on, but they do.
Lucy, I have to say this respectfully, man. I do respect you because you do take the abuse like a man. Even though I'm being sincere, I think you're a moron. But at least you take the abuse. I'm not going to Arizona for any type of treatment. I'll be okay. I'm a big boy.
I understand. I'm just saying, I was trying to be nice and let you know there's something out there that will actually help, and maybe it might help other people. It's called EBU. EBU.
Thank you. I'll look for it on TikTok. Can I say hello to my friend Certainty, please? Thank you. Good morning, Certainty.
Good morning, JB. How you guys doing? Hello to the room.
Doing fantastic. And yourself, sir?
I can't complain, sir. I'm out here in NYC, and it's nice and cool.
Yeah, man, we get some good weather. Where in the city are you?
I'm currently in Dumbo.
The fancy part. All right. Go to those gentrified neighborhoods. They got good restaurants.
Wait a minute, JB, I've never heard of Dumbo. Where is this, please? Where?
Dumbo stands for down under the Manhattan Brooklyn overpass.
Thank you, JB.
Yes. It used to be a shithole, but now all these white people moved in, put a lot of money in it, and now it's very gentrified. That's it.
Yeah, I was in Arizona for over a decade. I can't believe how this looks. It's just amazing.
Let me ask you a question, Certainty. Are vaccines safe?
It's a very general question, but was COVID safe? No.
What about measles and chickenpox and all that?
Or the COVID vaccine, I should say. And I say that about the COVID vaccine because I was just about to type in a chat. When I worked for a company named Nextiva, we provided SaaS telecommunication services for a medical facility that was actually making the Moderna vaccine, and the owner of that facility, who was a doctor himself, told me directly that he wouldn't even take the vaccine, and that it was just a money grab. He said he was making $1.2 million a month off of the creation of that vaccine.
Doesn't surprise me. Steve, guys.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Certainty a question because the title of the room, and he bring up an excellent question. What is considered safe? My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that over 98% of the people who took the vaccine had no ill effects except for possibly 2 or 3 days, temporary swelling and or very minimal symptoms. I wanted to know what you consider to be safe. Thank you.
That's a great question. Well, first and foremost, I'm no doctor, right? But I would assume that the longer you test something, the more you know how safe it is. So, for example, I've seen research papers on, Gatorade in the 70s and 80s when it was first put on in the supermarkets, and Gatorade at that time only contained sugar and juice. But now, if you look at what's in Gatorade, there's about 20 different ingredients in that, in that actual substance, right? So anything that can't be tested or proven, I would consider unsafe, which is about 85% of the food in our supermarket.
Just one follow-up question, then I'm going to go on mute. So does that mean, in your mind, that if over 98% of the population have no ill effects, does that mean that it's safe, or is it possible that if 1 to 2% do have ill effects, it's not safe? What's your take then?
if 90, let me reiterate because I think you lost me. You said if 98% of the population had no ill effects, then does that mean it's safe? Is that what you said?
Yes, and not only did I say that, but the statistics prove time and time again that when it comes to the COVID vaccine, over 98% of the people that took it had no ill effects. Does that mean in your mind that it's safe or no?
If those numbers are correct, that would mean that it's safe. But I'll tell you this, when I lived in Arizona, and I still have a property there, I knew several nurses who were working, at different hospitals in the area, and they were saying that they were, just marking folks down with death by COVID that weren't dying from COVID. They literally had other underlying issues that could have actually caused their deaths. Now, could this be true? Could this be hearsay? We don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yo, Sid, come up. I have one question for you. I know you may not be in a position to talk, but I just have a question to you if you can come up.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Sig is on stage. Sig, what a pleasure it is to see you on a Friday morning. You son of a gun, you, in more than a clubhouse way. I fucking love you, JB. I'm sorry, I just had to.
Well, I hope you feel better. You got it off your chest. Good morning, Sig. How you doing, my man?
Oh shit, good morning. Hey, can you guys hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir.
Loud and clear, baby.
Awesome.
So
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you too, brother. Good to see you too.
So I'm going to do something right now, Sig, that you never in your lifetime thought you would see. You ready? Watch this. Hold on. Let's do this. Boom. What do you think about that, Sig?
Wow, look at that, man. Look at that. See, I told you having these conversations brings us closer together.
Those be fighting green bean.
Well, listen, I still think he's a moron sometimes. Let him be our moron at least. How about that, Sig?
You know what, though? Here's the thing, though. He's an honest moron. He's an integral moron.
Retarded.
Yeah, the same thing with me. I'm retarded as fuck, too. I say some dumb shit. Yeah, I say some dumb shit. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'd rather rock with an honest moron than a deceitful intellect, man, a dishonest intellect. So it is what it is. But I don't think Keegan's a moron, though. In my personal opinion, I don't think Keegan's a moron. Keegan's a very smart young man, and I think a lot of Americans could use him as an example on how to live, a productive, peaceful life.
I just like his dog and his PTR. But that's the only compliment I'm going to give him today. So I'm going to do a quick reset, guys. This is Healthy Debates. Somehow we went down a rabbit hole of are vaccines safe? Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Jennifer. Cindy, I see you. Kelly in the house. Jane, great PTR. You look great. Sue, how you doing? Guys, if you have a pink ticket, please cash it in. We're talking vaccines today. The only vaccine I've ever taken that's really, fucked me up, where I was sick for days, was when I took the shingles vaccine. That thing put me on my ass. But my doctor, these doctors, they love to fearmonger. You have to get it. You got to that age where, shingles can make you go blind. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go blind. Give me the shot.
JB, I took the flu vaccine over 10 years ago. It got me sicker than the flu ever did. I swore I'd never take it again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, go ahead, Alphonse.
Yeah, another question. If you were in a position, or anyone, where you needed to help people negotiate whether people should be forced to have a vaccine, so pro-vaxxers and anti-vaxxers, how do you think you would mediate that situation? What do you see as the tools for us to assess and to be critical about each other and ourselves? I think there's a bit of a formula there.
Alfonso, honestly, I have no idea. I just know I can't convince. I'm not going to change anybody's opinion or mine. I've been on this app 5 years. I gave up about 3 years ago trying to change people's opinions or minds. Keegan's a staunch anti-vaxxer, right? I am certain vaccines I think should be mandatory. I know for a fact I can sit on the stage with Keegan for the next 2 years every day. I'm not changing his mind.
So the question is more, how would you moderate? How would you facilitate the debate? But you're not going to be convincing anyone. But what tools do you think you have to give the most objective approach to assessing which vaccines and whether they're going to help society or not, whether people who refuse vaccines are going to have an impact on people who are vaccinated and have fear? It makes it divide.
Alfonso, I got to be honest with you. If you're asking that to me, I can't answer it because I'm going to be honest. I'm not objective. I believe what I believe and very rarely leave my square. But if you want to ask somebody maybe like Certainty or Sig or Keegan or Steve or even this moron next to you, we'll see, be my guest. But I can't.
What are the tools that you use to try and get closer to objective? Nobody's objective, we're all subjective. But I think there's better informed subjective. And
well, here's the deal, Alfonso. Let's say there's a vaccine for allergies to apples, right? I don't know, and it's going to cure it. I can come with all the data and stats I want, but then again, data and stats are misleading. Who's putting those out? Is it the drug companies that's doing it? So for me, it's just like, all I can do is curate the space and give people a chance to say what they have to say. I'm not changing anybody's mind, but before we continue on, hold on, sir. Let me just say good morning to Chris real quick. I'll come back to you. Chris, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I love what y'all sharing. Most people, if you do your due diligence, I know the vaccines was promoted high, but most people have a weak immune system because they're not providing their bodies with the proper nutrition and water and things that it needs. So, and when people get sick, a lot of times, that their bodies wasn't at top peak. And if people be honest with yourself, only you know what you're doing. You don't have to ask anybody else. But if you're putting the proper nutrition into your body, the proper water, are you drinking about half your body's weight in good clean water every day? Are you putting the fruits and vegetables into your body? Even in your mind, protecting your mind with good positive stuff, all that helps for us being well. But most people are not. I'm in the real estate wellness business, and it says only 3% of everyone in the United States lead a wellness lifestyle. And this has nothing to do with money. We're talking about from the poorest to the richest. Even because you have a lot of money, still don't lead you to a wellness lifestyle. Because we can look at all the people that went in front of us, who passed away, who had millions and trillions of dollars. So they could get a nurse or a nutritionist to live in their backyard, but that wasn't a priority. So you have to really be honest with me. Myself, I have never taken any medication, and I haven't taken any shots since when we was in school. It was mandatory to take those shots to go back to school, but I haven't taken any shot. And I really believe you really have to learn your own. You know your body better than anybody. You know what is good. You know what you get sick when you eat something. But we have to be honest with ourselves that our bodies are just like a motor in a vehicle. And it needs the proper oil filter. It needs the proper air filter. And oil needs to be changed. And our body works just like the motor. And if you take care of it, it will last longer. I drove a Lexus, a 98 Lexus, over 400,000 miles. I drove that car in the ground for almost 24 years because I took care of the motor. And a lot of us think just because we go to the gym, we're doing our health part. I had a friend that went to the gym. If you've seen him, he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger body, but he was putting the wrong fuel in the motor, and he got the coronavirus. He had a stroke, and then they had to work on his lungs.
Well, Chris, let me jump in real quick. Thank you for your share. It's just my opinion. Anything I say for myself, not for healthy debates or anybody else. But I'm gonna say something that might be polarizing.
Ooh.
Americans are lazy.
Ooh.
Right? We're lazy. Most Americans don't work out. They just go to work, come home, eat processed foods, and then go to bed. We've cultivated a culture of fast food, man. Fast food, fast living, fast everything. Hold on, sir, T. Because I want to ask Sid a question. Sid, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm here, JB. Let's talk about the facts.
Can I ask you this because you're military?
Oh, right this level.
It's possible that I fucked up my my fucking murder account.
He told me
That 7
himself.
Daily account.
That's what he told me. I didn't tell him. I had nothing to do with that.
Well, Chris, let me tell you something. America is built on the military industrial complex and the pharmaceutical companies. They're untouchable, right? Just watch that docu-series on, I think it's HBO. It's called Painkiller with Matthew Broderick. How the Sackler Purdue companies made hundreds of millions of dollars by releasing oxycodone onto the American public, creating a culture of drugs. But let me go to Sergi because he's been patiently waiting. Sergi, go ahead, man.
Well, there's two things I wanted to say. The first thing was a question. Chris, that Lexus that you mentioned, was that a GS300 by any chance? 98 Lexus?
That's correct. GS300. Absolutely.
Oh, those cars last a long time. I figured that. The second thing I wanted to say is I pulled up some information I had saved quite a while about folks who were a part of the FDA and a part of Reuters, but folks regulating the market, but then ended up in charge of a lot of these vaccines. I have 4 individuals here. I'll say them real fast. You might know them. You've got Anthony Fauci. We all know about that guy, right? He was the NIAID director under the National Institute of Health, and then he became the funder of bioweapons research on the gain of function back coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. We've got James C. Smith. He was the CEO of Reuters, in charge of informing people about the COVID-19 vaccines. Then magically he became he became a member of the board of directors of Pfizer. We've got Stephen Hahn. He was the former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Moderna, and now he's the current chief medical officer of Flagship Pioneering, the venture capital firm behind Moderna. And last but not least, we've got Scott Gottlieb, I hope I said that correctly, former FDA commissioner in charge of regulating Pfizer, and then of course the board of directors of Pfizer. So it sounds like the folks that are in charge of, overseeing and regulating things are also making a bunch of money off of the distribution of some of these vaccines.
Thank you for that, Sergi. I want to say good morning to Mo. Kusi, you wanted to say something, Kusi?
Yeah, I was gonna chime in on the COVID. When you're asking about the safetiness and what Steve did, in the military, like the myocarditis that was coming up from that and a couple other things, heart-related, the young military men between the ages of 18 and 26 were having a tougher time with that vaccine, the COVID, and even the sports players and the athletes at that age were having issues. So it just shows that they push something and don't know the effects that it has on the heart. And I don't know if that's a safety thing, but
Did he go to Matrix or is it just me?
He dropped out completely.
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
I said thank you for your share, Cool C. I'm going to say good morning to my friend Mojo. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning. Cool C is an interesting one. He sounds like he's got a vax injury, but he had some content that I agreed with. So, look, I'm glad
that the vaccine for your information for that, but
Jesus Christ, I'm just talking about what you sound like. You sound like a retard is what I was saying, but it's okay. You were making sense. You just sound like a retard. Anyways.
We can always change the subject while doing racial relations, if you know.
No, I was just gonna comment. It's good to see a room on Clubhouse that's not talking about race. But we've gone all the way back to season 1 to talk about vaccines. This is cool. I guess what will happen is all the war correspondents and military strategy experts that have been on the app in the last week will probably become science and medicine experts today. It'll be interesting. I'll just sit back and listen to all of the brilliant minds when it comes to science and medicine.
Thank you, Mojo. I appreciate you. Well, let me say good morning to Matt B. Good morning, Matty.
Yo.
How's the family, man?
Got Dad moved in.
Nice.
Everything's good. Waiting for these. Today's a big day for the Supreme Court decisions. They'll be ruling on birthright citizenship and a bunch of other stuff. So.
Okay. We look forward to that. Matt, what do you think? Are vaccines safe?
I don't know. I've taken them. I think my daughter took some. I'm not really that normal, so maybe not. I don't, honestly, God, I don't know. I just do as my doctor tells me to do and shut up.
Matt, do you have polio?
I might. I have, what do you call it, dumbassitis? Appendicitis. So, other than that, but that, the vaccines may have caused that, so I'm not sure.
I'd like to go back and see like where all the vaccine. I understand like the COVID one. I think we could all agree that it's not even really a vaccine. And in hindsight, COVID wasn't quite as scary as the Chinese that created it wanted it to be. And let's make no mistake about it. It's not racist to say that. See how I tied it into race, Jamie? It's not racist to say that COVID came from China. That's where it came from. It came from the Wuhan lab, and so calling it the Wuhan flu apparently is not racist. It's just the truth. Thank you.
Well, I have a question for you, a follow-up question to what you just said. Do you think the virus was released on purpose by the Chinese government?
Released on purpose? Probably not. If I had to guess, I think they were fooling around with it, and I think it was probably some lazy ass that decided, to fucking not follow proper protocol, probably escaped, got into the wild, and then they started the cover. I don't think it was on purpose. But once it did get released, I think globally the response to it is worse than the disease ever was. The scary part is these knuckleheads are still fucking around with these things. Gain of function research continues, and so when it does get released on purpose, it will be released in a much more potent form. And I think instead of fat people with diabetes dying, it's going to be it's going to go a lot deeper.
That's a scary thought. Good morning, KP.
Good morning, JD. Good morning, Steve. Sig. Oh, Joe. What up? And the rest of the stage. What's going on, everyone?
Talking vaccines, KP, I believe you're in the medical field. Are vaccines safe?
Ooh, give me a few minutes here.
Man, I never heard you go woof.
Depends on which vaccine are you speaking of?
Any vaccine, COVID, measles. We got on the subject of measles vaccine earlier.
MMR,
MMR is okay.
Let's also add to that about what how it was just clarified. Let's say if over 98% of the population that take whatever the vaccine it is have no ill effects, is that considered safe?
I'm sorry, repeat that again.
If over 98% of the population that take any particular vaccine have no ill effects, is that considered safe?
What time frame are you talking about?
Last 5 years.
I would prefer 10, but we can just make it short for 5.
You know what? Let's make it 10. You got it, baby.
Yes, it would be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you, KP. Good morning, Sue. How you doing?
Good morning. I just wanted to let Matt know that the Supreme Court just made a ruling on birthright citizenship. I put a link in the chat.
What is it?
And then I wanted to just ask the question. The Jumbotron is talking about LA squatters. We're talking about the vaccine. My question to the room is, what vaccine are we talking about? Because the definition got changed in the last 5 years. So if we're talking about the jab, well, it doesn't meet the criteria for the dictionary, Webster's dictionary definition of a vaccine prior to 2020. So I don't mean to split hairs, but we used to have very rigorous, protocols for what defined a vaccine and what didn't. So I'm just asking how we're using that terminology. Thanks.
And also, Sue, it's good to hear your voice. Sue and JB, I looked at what's on the Jumbotron about a half hour, 45 minutes ago, and I might have missed it, but what I saw was the article started talking about 2 specific instances of squatters, but then moved on to the homeless. And I may have not read the whole thing, but LA clearly still has an issue, multiple issues with the homeless. But as far as squatters, I think these might be specific instances which a majority of people in Los Angeles, such as myself, are not really concerned about. But when it comes to the homeless, yes, it's an ongoing problem. Maybe I misread.
I'm with you on that, Steve. I think this is an inflammatory article, especially in light of everything else going on in the city. That is a really inflammatory article. Yeah, we do have a homeless problem. It's been going on a long time. But I'm with you. Yeah, this is isolated. And I don't know Beverly Grove to be having this big of a problem. Now, I can tell you that ICE has gone to the parks in Beverly Grove, and they have arrested citizens who have come out and said, I am a U.S. citizen, and they have actually left the child at the park. I can tell you that for certain. So, as far as homeless squatters, attacking a gardener, that maybe? Okay.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you. By the way, I saw my first ICE agents in New York City, in Dunkin' Donuts. I was like, holy shit, this is really real.
Did you buy them a cup of coffee? Thank them for their service?
No, man. I just kept it moving. I don't engage with law enforcement. Maybe it's just me personally.
JB, did they have their hoods on and their faces covered?
Nope. Their faces were out. Okay. Sue, hold on 1 second, please. I'll come back to it, I promise. But I have to say good morning to Jamie. I haven't heard from Jamie in quite a long time. Jamie, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So, Jamie, let me ask you, are vaccines safe? Any vaccine?
Oh, any vaccine. Well, I live in an Amish community, and the Amish don't get vaccines at all. it's, for the most part, it's not really bad. It's like, we had whooping cough go through, which was scary. Like, one of the babies stopped breathing, and, like, thank goodness they took her to the hospital. But, it's like, I took vaccines, my kids took vaccines. Like, I was really reluctant, though, because, I have a lot of autism in my family. And
I wonder why.
And so I
Huh.
to vaccinate him. But he was autistic anyway. So
Oh, he was autistic anyways.
Like COVID.
Damn.
I took him, but it was like just to protect my mom. And my
Fucking
dad.
unbelievable.
But
There's no correlation.
It's like my mom was
What does
like,
the word
there's no
correlation
way she
mean
would
to
rather,
you?
Like, she would rather die than take a vaccine. So, she actually did. She died from COVID a couple weeks ago.
Jesus.
So, I don't know, man. It's like, when it comes down to the final thing, it's like, you just have to choose for yourself.
Thank you, Jamie. Sorry, Sue. Did you want to jump in there? Sue? All right, guys. We're going to go popcorn style.
Hey, I'm here. I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump in with, in LA, it's very well documented that ICE agents have every part of their body covered. Their cars are undercover. You do not know who they are. If you were to say thank you for your service, chances are they'd pull a rifle on you. And it's no joke. So, they are now filming anybody that has any kind of contact with them at all, whether it be friendly or not. Just wanted to throw that out there. So no one that I know of, even those that want to have engagement with them, are thinking twice, at least in LA. Might be new in New York, but not out here.
Thank you, Sue. I know Mojo wanted to engage with you. Mojo, the mic was yours.
Oh, not really. I just want to say that if I were an ICE agent, I would go and I would paint a red stripe at the top of the van, make it look like the A-Team van. That way, when you get out and you abduct people, people might think that you're filming an episode of the A-Team.
To your point, unfortunately, I don't mean to interrupt, but you know what, Roger? It isn't funny. We have people impersonating ICE agents here right now that are taking people off the street and sexually abusing them. So please, this is not the time to be making a joke.
Okay, can you give me the time that I can make jokes again? I'll come back at that point.
I'm asking you just to use a little humility and compassion for what's going on.
Absolutely fucking not. We had a goddamn invasion and now we're sending them back. Fuck it.
These are not, many of these people, Roger, are not here illegally. These are people.
And you know this how, Sue?
Because I am in Ventura. I'll tell you.
Did you brand them like fucking cattle? You can identify them one by one? Speak up, Sue. Speak up.
I am. I'm trying to. You're not letting me. I am in Oxnard with the farmers that grow your produce, talking with them daily, learning about the process that they've been trying to go through for years. Many of them own property, have green cards, came over here legally, and are doing their job. They are in the pipeline for the pathway to citizenship.
Lies, ma'am. Lies you tell.
Come on down here and take a look at the process, Roger. Please, I'm asking you to come and look.
Can he crash your ass when he comes to look?
Absolutely. Come on, I got an extra room.
I won't leave. I won't leave. Ask the Ann Hero story. I won't leave.
Roger, I had a feeling you were a fucking squat.
Yeah, I would fucking squat and I would shit. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have no fucking sympathy. Look, you want to solve the fucking illegal immigration problem? Here's what you do. You stop letting them in, Okay, that's number one. Number two, you fix the legal immigration problem. And number three, you stop listening to these fucking people like Sue that spend their time in the Truth Seekers Tavern filling their mind with a bunch of horse shit. What are we going to talk about next? Alien abduction?
There would also be a number 4, although nobody is in favor of it, and that would be to take away the licenses of the employers and fine the employers and shut down the employers' businesses that are voluntarily employing illegal aliens. It's against the law.
Well, let me say this, Sue. You have an ally on stage who agrees with everything you're saying. Is this gentleman Keegan? He thinks there should be open borders and illegal immigrants should just run rampant.
I don't believe in open borders. I didn't say that. And I'm right here. Steve and I live within 2 miles of each other.
Hey, don't go doxing Steve. Don't go doxing Steve.
I don't believe in open borders. I believe in a pathway to citizenship. There's a difference. And the pathway to citizenship is a process, and I have helped many people to obtain it. And that's something that we need to be cognizant of. I don't disagree with the fact that we have people over here illegally. I am 100% right there with you. And I say, let's get rid of them.
Send them back.
I agree. But we don't send back people that are contributing to our community, that have been here for decades, that own property, own businesses, contributed to our taxes. That's not the way to do it. And I agree with Steve.
Name one
Go
person
after
that
the
fits that
employer.
description. Name one person that fits that description.
There are so many that are right now gone.
Name one.
I'm not going to dox people that have been taken by ICE.
So you can't name one?
I can. They're all over the internet. Go anywhere you want, Roger. You can find them all over the internet.
All you had to do was name a Mexican name. You could have said Jesus Morales.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give you a name just to appease you. I don't do that.
Jose Martinez.
Let's hear from Keegan. Keegan, I was just playing with you, but go ahead.
Well, about a year ago, I did make a room about how would I see mass deportations go and how I want them to go. And I've criticized Trump's administration for a long time about how I don't believe they're doing a good job. But I will say one thing. I said I think that they should go to all of these Home Depots and Lowe's and just start arresting people. Use unmarked vehicles, and God darn it, man, I was right. And it's kind of fun to watch. They're freaking running around Home Depot parking lots.
Yeah, but Keegan, respectfully, according to Sue, if this continues, we're not going to get avocados or broccoli.
Well, it is weird that, like, liberals are now saying this, right? Like, you know, there's a whole thing back in 2016 of, you know, like, The View that made a statement of, if you deport all these illegal immigrants, who's going to clean your toilet? Like, that's how they see these individuals, is that these individuals...
You watch The View?
I do every single day. I love Whoopi Goldberg, one of the best, one of my favorite black women. But listening to like left.
Well, just last week you said you didn't see color, but carry on.
it just depends on who I'm looking at. But I mean, truly though, it is really interesting to hear left-wing people say that they are like in favor of exploiting people in financial ruins. They're like, oh, I would rather exploit people and have cheap labor and not spend a lot of money on American-made food or American-made clothing or American-made materials, and would rather continue to send our jobs to China or get a lot of the Mexicans to do it. And it's a really, it's really sad.
Well, Keegan, let's see what Miss Sue has to say about what you said. Miss Sue, did you want to say something to what Mr. Keegan was saying? Miss Sue, do you consider yourself left-leaning?
No, I'm not. As a matter of fact, I even changed that affiliation. So, do I have liberal beliefs? Yes. Again, I'm not saying get rid of the people that are here legally. I'm saying get rid of the people that are here illegally. We have farms out in Oxnard that hire legal pickers, legal growers, legal packers. I was out there with them yesterday.
Miss Sue, hold on. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to pivot off immigration. I'm going to ask you a question. It has nothing to do with immigration. Where do you stand on abortion?
I think a woman has the right to decide about her own body. End of that discussion.
Okay, thank you. Continue, please.
My body, my right. But getting back to this, I don't agree with the way in which Trump is doing this. I do agree with the fact that we have had a horrible immigration problem for years, but I don't agree with the way in which it's happening. And I don't agree with the people that he's allowing into our country with the people that he's taking out of our country.
Who's he letting in?
The South Africans that came in. And the backgrounds that they have.
So you don't like South Africans?
I didn't say that.
So you love them?
So I'm not going to let you sit here and do what you do, Roger, and pick apart.
Who's Roger?
Okay, you want me to call you Mojo? Whatever you want to be called. Whoever you want to be called, I'm not going to let you pick on.
Well, listen. If we start doxing people, then Donald Trump might send a van and I might get deported. So please stop.
You've got to be kidding me. The room is on replay. Please.
There's no replays.
Next. Let's go on.
There's no replays.
Healthy debates. Just say healthy debates never does
Well, hold on. I beg to differ with you guys. As long as Anonymous is in the room, a.k.a. Edmund, a.k.a. John Kitover, not only is it being replayed, it's being streamed live.
Thank you. Adrian Pittman's doing his whatever he's doing. So, move on.
Thank you.
It's been a nice engagement.
Thank you for your shares. I appreciate it. CEO, good morning.
Michael, how are you?
Doing fantastic. So, are vaccines safe, CEO?
I think some vaccines are safe. I'm sure there's some that are less safe. I think we're living in a world where the litmus test for how stupid you are for some group of people is, did you take the vaccine or not? And if you took the vaccine, then you're some dumb prick that's brainwashed by evil aliens, and you're not really fit for living. So it's like a weird thing. So I think the real issue is, do we trust modern medicine, pharmaceutical companies, and other people, the federal government? And the answer to that is probably fucking not. But at the end of the day, to travel to another country, you got to take yellow pox, and you got to take several vaccines to get into certain countries. The people have been taking vaccines to get into schools, to get into certain jobs. So I just never understood why this vaccine supposedly was the most horrendous vaccine in the history of the world. I think everything should be approached with caution and discernment. But yeah, so.
No, I have a follow-up question for you, because we're going to pivot off to what we were just talking about. What's your opinion of Donald Trump's immigration policy?
Well, I think he's done such a fantastic job demonizing the poor brown people that we've suspended habeas corpus and rights and due process and ignored the Constitution, because we all hate these evil farm pickers so much that we want them the hell out of the country. So I agree with the process for legal immigration. I agree with the fact that we have to have laws and don't believe in open borders. I don't think really anybody does anyway, but I think he's literally done a successful marketing campaign job to make these undocumented workers damn near roadkill. So we don't care if they jump out of a van with ski mask on and beat a couple of people up, and if a couple of Americans get beat up and shut down in the process, then who cares? It's just the Constitution. So my opinion, to be honest with you, is I just think that with police officers, if we went through all the trouble to get, cameras on police officers so they don't do wrong stuff, if we made sure that we punish police officers and support the good police officers, the fact that we have a rogue police force in the United States
that has the capacity to roll up on somebody and do whatever the hell they want to. I think it's just mind-boggling that we are doing that in a country of laws. So I just think that just the same way that the illegals need to be legal, I think our law enforcement need to follow due process.
Thank you, CO. I'm going to do a quick room reset. This is Healthy Debates. I changed the title. Is ICE going too far? So everybody has an opinion. Hello, Jennifer Bader. Active, good morning. Dog, liberal, Stinny. Stinny, who lives in Guatemala. She has no problems getting her avocados. Guys, if you want to come up, raise your hand. Roger, Mojo writes in the chat.